I'm Adam, and this is a video about our 2019 Mustang Ecoboost. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys a little bit about the outside and the inside of this Mustang, and then on Thursday, check it out when Brenna will take this Mustang for a test drive. We'll start here on the exterior, where you guys can see that this Mustang is wrapped in Orange Fury. It's a really awesome exterior color. It definitely attracts a lot of attention. And then you guys will also notice that this Mustang does feature the black accent package. So that brings you the 19-inch black wheels, that brings you the black roof, and that also brings you the black deck lid spoiler blade, which are all awesome upgrades that just really add to the overall appearance of this Mustang. Definitely gives it a much sportier look. As I mentioned, this is an EcoBoost Mustang, so this features a 2.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It's going to put out 310 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque, which is very healthy for a 4-cylinder engine. Just for comparison, with the Camaro, they also offer a 4-cylinder turbo. That one only puts out 275 horsepower. So you're getting 35 more horsepower, which is excellent. This Mustang does feature the 10-speed automatic transmission. This is actually an upgraded transmission, so the Mustangs come standard with a 6-speed auto, but the 10-speed is actually amazing. So it makes great use of all the power, especially the torque on this EcoBoost engine. I think that if you take this for a drive, you'll be very impressed, and I think that Brenna will also be very impressed when she gets a feel for this 10-speed auto. As I mentioned, this is a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, so this Mustang is rated at 21 miles per gallon in the city and 32 miles per gallon on the highway, which is pretty dang good for a sports car. I think that's definitely one of the draw points for a car like this, especially with the EcoBoost engine, because a lot of people really like the Mustangs and the sporty feel and the design, everything like that, and some people even just love the history behind them, but a lot of people don't want to go with a V8 Mustang because it doesn't make sense for them on a daily commute. So if you go to something like this with the EcoBoost and the automatic, it's going to be a much easier car for an everyday driver who's not looking for a super enthusiastic drive every morning on their way to work. It really kind of brings that gray area full circle for Ford and their sports cars and kind of gives everybody an option no matter what you're looking for. One thing that I do want to point out before we move to the interior of the Mustang is it does have this awesome little feature. All Ford vehicles have this, and I just want to point it out to you guys because a lot of people don't know about it. It's called global open windows. So all you have to do is hold your key fob and press the unlock button, and after the car unlocks, if you just keep holding the unlock button, it will roll the windows down for you. Now, a lot of you may be asking, what the heck is this used for? But I can tell you that this is an excellent feature to use during the summer when you're walking out to your car and you know it's blazing hot because it's been parked outside all day. You can just go ahead and hit that global open button on your remote, put your windows down, and it can let all that heat out before you have to step into a sauna. All right, now we're here on the inside of this EcoBoost Mustang. I'm going to go over the sync system with you guys because ultimately this is a comparison video between the 4-cylinder Mustang and the GT V8. The GT that I'm going to review, you guys will see that video in a couple weeks here, does feature the premium interior, so it does have that big Sync 3 system and everything. So I do want to have the opportunity to show you guys this entry-level sync system from Microsoft. You'll notice that it does have a smaller screen, as well as it has these buttons flanking on either the left or the right side. On the left side of the screen, we can see we have our input buttons such as media and radio. We can go to our phone. On the right side, we have our numbers. And then additionally, we also have these controlling arrows down below. Of course, this is not a touch screen, so we do have these directional arrows to get us through menus. And then we have our seek, our mute buttons, and our play. Directly below that, you will see we do have the climate control right here. So this is the base model trim, as I mentioned. So this is their standard single zone manual climate control. You have your fan speed on the left, and then your temp knob on the right, and of course your vent directions here in the middle. On the Premium GT, you guys are going to see that it does offer the dual zone climate control, so that's a little different setup, so watch out for that. One thing that I do want to point out as well with this AC control that I find to be super cool is that it lets you pick whatever vents you want for the air to come out of. So if you have it on the feet and on your face and you decide that you'd really like some air coming out up by the windshield as well, you can just click that windshield button and it will add it to the vent list. It won't make you take it off of feet or face or anything like that. I love the fact that you can have your defrost, your front-facing vents, and your feet vents all open at the same time. Gives you excellent airflow inside the Mustang. And then underneath that, you'll see we do have our start stop button. It's kind of cool that it's trimmed in red. And then we have our hazards, we have our traction control off if you want to do some sick burnouts in your EcoBoost Mustang. And then we also have this button here to change the steering feel. So if you press this button, you can switch between comfort, normal, and sport mode in the steering feel. And I can tell you from experience that this is absolutely true. You can tell a huge difference in the way that this car drives when you switch it between things like sport or comfort steering feel. Finally, below those buttons, you can see that we do have one USB port and one 12-volt port for charging. And then as we move down, we have the 10-speed automatic gear selector here in the middle, what we're used to seeing in every car. We have our emergency brake here, which some people will use more than others in this Mustang specifically. And then, of course, we have our cup holders. As you can see, we do have our volume and our seek buttons here on the left side, and then on the right side, those directional pads are actually used to change the info screen between the gauges. And then on the bottom left, you can see that we have our cruise control settings, and on the bottom right, we have our hands-free phone settings. Moving up from there, you guys will see the classic double gauge design. So we have our tachometer here over on the left, and then we have our speedometer on the right with a screen in the middle. I do want to point out something kind of cool about the speedometer, and that is that it actually says ground speed on it. So these, that is kind of brought from aerial planes, and they measure their speed based on their ground speed. So that's just kind of a cool little quirk that Mustang has included. It's a generational thing, and you can see it in Mustangs for many years back. So it's just kind of a little quirk about the history of them. We do have this screen here in the middle. As I mentioned, we can use the directional keys on the steering wheel to move through screens and see different things, a bunch of different gauges and information, things that you might be using, as well as track apps. This is going to give us important information when we're driving this Mustang to its max on the track. One last little quirk here on the inside before I let you guys go is if you look up here above your rear view mirror where you have your dome light housing, on the front of your dome light housing, you're missing a little section of plastic. A lot of people might wonder what that is, and I can tell you that is actually your microphone for your hands-free system. So in most cars, you'll see some kind of a little vent or port or something up above near your sun visors, and that is almost always your microphone for your Bluetooth because your voice travels so well when you're looking forward like that. So that's just a little bit of information. Maybe you guys care, maybe you don't, but it's worth knowing in my opinion. All right, that is it for today. I hope you guys did enjoy this brief walk around of this 2019 Mustang EcoBoost. Check back to see the video where I'm going to compare this to a 2019 Mustang GT. And then also on Thursday of this week, you'll be able to see Brenna take this Mustang EcoBoost for a test drive, and she's going to give you guys her first impressions. If you do have any questions or you want to see this Mustang EcoBoost in person, feel free to stop by and visit us here at Jack Schmitt Ford. That's 1820 Vandalia Street in Collinsville, or you can stop by and visit us online at jackschmittford.com.